What's up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here and being subbed. If you're not, hit that button and go ahead and hit that like button while you're at it. And let's go ahead and get into the real or reality TV. I have a few things that I want to address. So let's just go ahead and get into this, guys. So, first, I want to share this fake apology. This is my personal opinion. And before I get into it, I want to say that any content that I am sharing is for fair use and commentary and for entertainment and or educational purposes only. I'm not trying to proclaim that any content that I am sharing is my own creation because I am a content commentator more so than even a content creator. So with all of that being said, I'm going to share my screen and let's just go ahead and get into this fake apology of Dr. Heavenly. All right, so this is coming from the Bravo Shade Room.
I love y'all. I'm just emotional right now because and again, let me apologize for what I said before. I made a lot of people feel uncomfortable by something I made, and it was mistaken. And I want to say I apologize. It was an ignorant statement I made about being a real man, or whatever. I want to apologize for that again and again. Y'all know, if y'all know me, y'all know I didn't mean anything by it, but it doesn't take away from somebody I might have hurt their feelings. So I will apologize for that again and again and again. I was wrong. That was an ignorant statement, and I recant that whole thing. I love y'all. I'm just emotional right now because and again, let me apologize for what I said before. I made a lot of people feel uncomfortable by something I made, and it was mistaken. And I want to say I apologize. It was an ignorant statement I made about being a real man, or whatever. I want to apologize for that again and again. Y'all know, if y'all know me, y'all know I didn't mean anything by it, but it doesn't take away from somebody I might have hurt their feelings. So I will apologize for that again and again and again. I was wrong. That was an ignorant statement, and I recant that whole thing.
All right, bullshit. Let me tell you guys something, all right? This heifer has consistently, since she has been on this show, shown her entire ass, the one that was big and flat before, and now the one that's lifted up and filled up with fat from other parts of her body. I am sick of her, and I really am I'm ready for her to go. Her and Quad can both go. And I'll be honest with you guys, not that it even makes a difference. The show can go, in my personal opinion, because Married to Medicine, even though out of all of the reality shows that are on TV, I don't watch a ton of them, but it is the one that I would watch consistently. I'm not watching it when it comes on. It's like, oh, it's Sunday at whatever time it comes on. No, I'm watching it the next day on Peacock or whenever I get around to it because I have a lot of stuff going on. I don't have time to really sit around and watch TV like that. But, with that being said, I have watched old episodes in passing as I'm doing other things, I should say. And this is who she is. And the only and best apology is changed behavior. So for her to sit there, do what she did, say what she was saying, but if you saw her, I'm going to share my screen again, but not with the sound on the video this time. She's never really looking at the camera. And okay, you're on the internet, so you're not. Let me mute that. So look at her. She's looking at the side. She's, if you're doing an apology, why aren't you just looking straight on directly at the? Look at her. This is who she is. This is who she is. And she's constantly she's saying how she feels the first time. She's saying how she feels the first time. And it's not just about this, it's about everything else. Everything that she has done and said that was out of pocket and out of line, it has been because that's how she really felt. And if she started feeling the heat or, someone that I guess she may like a bit more or respect somewhat, because I don't really believe she likes a whole lot of people and that she really respects people that much because she really doesn't like herself a whole lot. So with that being said, I feel that if she has someone that she sort of likes or sort of respects that says something to her to make her feel the heat a little bit, that's when she would say, "Oh shit, you know what? I may have messed up. Let me get out here and say something to, just sort of backtrack a little bit." But her saying, "I recant that whole thing," and but if you know me, you know I didn't mean no harm by it, girl. Please, you meant what you said, and it's not about you saying what you said and not meaning any harm by it. You said what you said because that's how you really feel. That's how you really feel. So I'm just not here for the apologies. I'm sick of her. She really does not deserve to be on television. She doesn't deserve to have the following that she has. Carry your ass to your dental practice and work more in there. Like, didn't she say she has like 50 dental practices or something like that? I don't know. I'm just saying, spend more time working in your practice on patients and like training people in person versus coming online to gossip all the damn time, because I'm really just I'm just really tired of her. I really am. And she and Quad are two peas in different pods. They're not in the same pod, but they are the same. They really are very much alike. But Heavenly, Elaine, Kimes, I'm really over this chick because she got this big head. It happens to a lot of people. What's that old saying? Fame is a hell of a drug. She's gotten a whole lot of attention being on this platform. And then she went to take it to, social media, and she's consistent. Like, this is her life. This has consumed her. She is consumed by it. And she doesn't need a break. She needs to be terminated. Like, really, she just really needs to be terminated. She has her own practices. She can't fire, she can't be fired from that. I mean, well, she could be because patients could stop coming to her practice. But I'm just saying, she definitely needs to be terminated from that show and the platform that people are supporting her on social media. A lot of the people that follow her are like her, and that's the sad part about it, because there are a whole lot of people like her in the world. And that's one of the reasons why the world is so effed up, and we have this terrible person who is in the office of president right now, who just says a lot of mess, does a lot of crap, doesn't really care about anybody but themselves. Like, it's similar. It really is. I'm just not here for her at all. And I heard something when I was listening to another content creator's channel on yesterday, and I'm going to share my screen because if you did not hear this, it's something you need to hear. So let me go ahead and share my screen. All right, here. Here we go. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and play some of this video. This is from Michelle ATL and Brown's channel. And someone called in with some very interesting information. And it just really speaks to who this this woman is. So let me go ahead and play this.
Hey, Michelle, you was on one today. But yeah, I
It's
think
too early. It's too early for me.
yeah, well, you was on one, and I'm glad you did it early so I could catch it. Because you
Uh,
usually be going on late at night. So when I saw you live, I was like, oh, she on live, and I'm on my way home. I got something to watch.
okay.
Okay. Well, I think Portia did set Simon up.
Ooh,
Yeah, I think that was a setup, a scheme that Portia set up to
okay.
keep that house.
Okay.
I think that Phaedra's exit was epic. I loved
Okay.
it. I think with Heavenly, she is colorist because I used to be a dental assistant for Heavenly a long time
Okay.
ago, and
Ooh,
one of
tell
her
me
employees
big.
sued. Yeah, one of her employees sued her for calling her black and ugly and looked like a gorilla.
Did you hear that? This caller says she used to be a dental hygienist in her practice many years ago. and another former employee sued her, heavily called this woman black and ugly and that she looked like a gorilla. I completely believe it. I don't have to see the litigation to believe it. I 100% believe that. But let's go ahead and continue.
And I'm surprised somebody has brought this up before. But she been sued, and the girl won the lawsuit for her calling her black and ugly and that she looked like a gorilla and stuff. And then
Oh,
that's true. That's a true story. True. And the girl won. She won the case. And I'm surprised nobody has ever said anything about that.
nobody. I need to know. Look, can you drop in my DMs and tell me like where to go to look for? Like what state? Where was she sued? Like who sued her?
Yeah, I'll send it to you on Instagram.
All right, guys. So I'm I'm gonna stop sharing it right there. But you heard that caller, right? Heavenly is a colorist. She's a self-hating human being. She's a self-hating human being, and a former employee sued her and won. Called the woman black and ugly and that she looked like a gorilla. Like, this is who she is. I I'm not going to blame Mariah, but Mariah brought this woman to this platform. She said she tried to get her on the first season, but she was too fat. That's what Mariah said. That production felt like she was too fat to be on the show. So she had to lose some weight, and that's how she got on that, that second season. But yeah, I'm definitely believing that story. And if any of you have access to that litigation, feel free to share it with me. You can send it to my email. My email is in the description box. You can DM it to me on Instagram. But I 100% believe that story. So listen, the apology that she issued, it was 100% because of what she has going on right now, and she does not want to lose it. She doesn't want to lose access to the platform of Married to Medicine, of Bravo. Like, she's been feeling herself so much, feeling real good about herself, feeling real confident. We want most people to feel good about themselves. We want most people to feel confident. We want most people to feel like they've grown and they've leveled up and glowed up and all of that stuff, right? But not at the expense of other people, because you have such a foul mouth and loose lips, and you don't really give a crap about how anybody else feels. And I am tired of this narrative surrounding Letitia and Dr. G, but I'm going to talk about that in a separate video. But what I want to say about that, just for the moment, while I'm on Heavenly's ass, is the fact that she, along with some of the other chicks on the show, so it wasn't just her, they used that woman. They coerced her to become a part of this platform. And they also did it at the expense of Quad's feelings, because they didn't give a fuck about how she felt either. And yeah, I said that because it's the truth. All right. And I am now seeing that, honestly, none of them really deserve to be on this platform anymore. And Mariah is oh my God. She really went through it, but because a lot of people did not care for her and how they felt that she was feeling like she was above the other woman or better than them or whatever, they were kind of more so rooting for what they felt like was the underdogs. And because she named and claimed herself to be the queen bee, a lot of people wanted to see her stinger removed and see her crown be removed. So they were really willing to give that crown to someone like Quad over Mariah, because people do shit like that in this life. I don't get it, but it's just a real thing. It is really a real thing. So they saw Quad as the underdog, and to spite Mariah, they chose Quad over Mariah. But then when they felt like she was feeling herself too much, then they wanted to root her out. So when they saw the opportunity presented itself, they were like, oh, let's get Dr. G and his new wife on the show. I don't care about Quad's feelings when it comes to that. I'm just going to be honest with you. But those were the women that proclaimed themselves to be her friends, even if they didn't feel like she was being friendly to them. So to spite her, they courted Letitia and Dr. G to be on the show. And I would say they courted Letitia more so than Dr. G, because my personal opinion is he came on this show for Quad, and now he came on this show for Letitia. He does not strike me as the type that clamors for attention, that wants to be on TV, that none of that. None of that. You never saw him really in his practice. I think only once, maybe twice, we've seen that. And it was because of Quad. Because Quad was coming to the office and showcasing what she did to his office and his space or whatever. But it was never because he was trying to showcase his practice. And a lot of what he does, because he is a psychiatrist, there's a lot more confidentiality that's involved there than it would be with a dental or a, more physical than mental medical practice, where yeah, they need to sign releases to be on the show. But because Dr. G deals with psychiatry, there's confidentiality period. So these people are not going to showcase themselves on television, and he wouldn't even think to ask them to sign a release form off to show, like, that's just not going to happen. So he's not clamoring for the attention, and I really feel that people miss that, all because they're really just focusing on the fact that the show's called Married to Medicine, and Quad is now this reality TV star. And so they're making it seem like, oh, he's jealous. So now he went. No, he does not. It's because of him that she got the opportunity, that she got to be on the show in the first damn place. So we just have to really be honest about that. But I'm going to stop talking about that right there. I just wanted to mention that because these people are full of shit and they're not really friends. And speaking of friends, I'm going to share my screen because Funky Dineva responded to Dr. Heavenly's comments and apology. And I'm going to share my screen and I want to play some of this. So let's just go ahead and get into it.
There's a lot of y'all who didn't even want me to bring up the Dr. Heavenly thing again or whatever. But I'm actually going to bring it up because it's been bothering me. It has been bothering me. It's been bothering me for the last 24 hours. And so as a result of, Dr. Heavenly's comments, you guys can go back and find them in reference to gay men not being real men or whatever. And she didn't mean it like that. And listen, in being friends with Dr. Heavenly, she's made comments like that before in my face. She's made comments like, oh, if a man called me a bitch, my husband would probably fight, but he probably wouldn't even get mad if one of the gay boys did it or whatever, because it's not the same. He don't look at like y'all not like a real man or whatever the case may be. Look at it sideways, keep it moving, choose to address it and fix it, keep it moving, whatever the case may be. And I wrote the comment because everybody's blowing my phone up, and I wrote, "Do y'all now see why I don't fool up with fish too heavy?"
All right, pausing it right there. He's claiming that this chick is his friend, right? And he's saying also that he's experienced her making comments like this on a pretty consistent basis around him. And he chose to just let it fly and keep it moving. Now, I'm only talking about this because it was pretty public and not, because I have any type of affiliation with any of these people, but because I saw it, I just see the hypocrisy in it all. Do you all remember? Because when he was on TGIF on Fox Soul, and whenever there would be like a news story about Tasha K and the Cardi B lawsuit or something like that, when it would involve Tasha K, at first he never wanted to talk about it. And he said, I have a rule where I just don't discuss my friends. I don't talk about my friends, and Tasha K is my friend. He claimed that Tasha K was his friend, right? And then he got upset when he left TGIF on Fox Soul, and Claudia had Flame Monroe on as a guest host. And because he had some issues with Flame Monroe, and also he's no longer on the show at that time. He quit, he claimed. He got upset that they brought Flame Monroe on the show, but you're not on the show anymore. It wasn't like you were on vacation and you were coming back and they brought Flame Monroe on to spite you. It was like you're not even a part of the network and the platform anymore. So your opinion really does not even fly when it comes to something like this, because this is not personal. This is business. It's our job, which now they don't have anymore. And I just noticed this. He's had his name spelled wrong. I'm sorry. I just catch little things like that. Fuinky. Fuinky. Neat. Dineva didn't have the I right there. So I guess the I was supposed to be right there. But anyway, I get it. It was just a typo. It's not a big deal. But I just I just caught that. So I just had to say something about it right just now. But anyway, the short of the long of it all when it comes to that part is I'm not going to go into all of that, but I find it very funny that he could fall out with Claudia over something like that. He could fall out with Tasha K because Tasha K interviewed Flame Monroe, but Funky had said some stuff about Tasha K where it involved the lawsuit, and he said something about Tasha K's money or something like that, and it was something that wasn't true, and Tasha K took offense to it, but they were supposed to be friends, and she interviewed Flame Monroe, and she also tried to have like a bridge building session or something like that between Funky and Flame. And at that time, Funky was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with her or whatever. And it's like, wow. So for all of that stuff, you could be done with these people. And mind you, these are women. And also Flame Monroe is he, she, we. That's what Flame calls himself, right? So you don't like Flame, who is in the community, and a lot of the reasons why I feel like he doesn't like Flame is because Flame says a lot of things that are actually really true. But I digress. I'm not in the LGBTQ community, so I'm not trying to go down that rabbit hole. You you fall out with Claudia and you fall out with Tasha K, but this chick is constantly saying things like this around you, but you choose to let it fly. I found that very ironic, but let's just go ahead.
That was my comment. Do y'all now see why I don't fool up with fish too heavy? Then my comment was, what Heavenly said is how most of y'all feel. My text messages have been going off all night, people wanting to know what I think. Here is what I think. I have learned how to navigate the world being considered less than a man since the 3rd grade. Honestly, I have no real reaction. It's another day at the office for me. Unfortunately, especially in the Black community, this is a shared thought by the majority. I can upset my makeup and disturb my tears about a belief that won't change in this lifetime, or I can keep scrolling through Uber Eats. Uber Eats it is. These are my official thoughts, so y'all can stop asking and tagging me. And yes, I will still be her friend the same way I'm friends with the rest of y'all and y'all closeted beliefs about gay men. It is par for the course.
All right. So I'm not even going to share any more of that. I'm just going to stop right there. There's more that was said. If you want to watch the rest of it, you can go ahead and go to his channel. That was a live stream that he did on Monday. But you would continue to be friends with that woman. And listen, I don't care. It's not about me saying that, oh, he shouldn't be friends with her anymore. That's his right. That's his choice. But you could continue to be friends with this woman who thinks less of you, who doesn't feel like you're a real man, who says things like this around you constantly. So we know it's probably worse when she's not around you. And you really think that she's really your friend? It's okay for you to continue. Like, why continue to be friends with someone like this? This is not me saying that I even disagree with the stuff that he's saying, because to be honest with you, the world that we live in, unfortunately, that is a real thing. Most people do, especially women. It's not that I wouldn't say it's because they hate gay people. We live in a world and we live in a society where that life is not one that is easy. So we don't want to have our children go through hard struggles in life, just like we wouldn't want our daughters to become teen mothers. It's hard. It's not because we hate them, it's because it's hard. It's because that things are not easy for the LGBTQ community, and it can be dangerous. It's a lot of stuff. So it's like we just don't want our children to have a hard life. And yeah, there are men that feel even deeper about that when it comes to their children and being in the LGBTQ community. It is a real true thing, and it's not because most, not all, but most, it's not because of hatred. It's because the way the world is set up, you don't want to have your children have to go through these hard struggles. You really just want things to be as easy as possible for your children, and that's it. So, but with that being said, you get to choose who your friends are. You don't get to choose your family. You get to choose who your friends are. And sometimes the friends that you choose, they could be more family to you than your own family, because, like I said, you can't pick who your family is. And some of us are born into terrible circumstances. So, why in the world would you choose to be friends with someone who thinks that way of you? That's the part that doesn't make sense to me. It's the fact that you choose to continue to be friends with someone that thinks this way about you and others in the community. So he said more in that live stream. And I actually, you know what? Let me go ahead and just play more of it, because this is the part that it's like, why would you continue to be friends with someone like this when you say, yes, I'm going to continue to be friends with this person, but they feel this way about you? Let me continue.
And here is the thing. I stand by my comments 400 times. I double down on my comments 400 times. And y'all just gonna have to get into it, because let me first acknowledge that, and I hate that we live in a world where every time you talk about something, you have to say some, not all. Some, not all. Some, not all. Okay. And listen, I know that when I use the word fish in my captions sometimes, that it upsets some of y'all and it tap dance on some of y'all nerves. And if I'm being perfectly honest, I do it on purpose lots of times. But I also want you to understand that when I make comments, and see, Melissa, you put the perfect comment. We are all being judged and critiqued. Black women. Oh, no, Melissa, you got a good comment, not you. No, you got a good comment. What I want y'all to understand sometimes is that, number one, if it don't apply, let it fly. And number two, truthfully speaking, in this moment, I'm not talking to y'all. In this moment, I am not talking to y'all. I am not talking to women. I am not talking to Black women. In this moment, I am talking to my gay boys. And I think what a lot of y'all fail to realize is that I am a gay boy first. Okay? I'm a gay boy first. I like the fact that y'all like coming over here, playing in my front yard. I respect the fact that y'all like to play in my treehouse and eat my snacks. But at the very end of the day, I am a gay boy first. And I have a different experience on this planet than Black women, than Black men. I am talking to my gay boys when I say things like, you need to watch out for fish.
See, and that's the sad part about it. Definitely not here for any man, especially, someone in the LGBTQ community calling a woman fish. And it is to be offensive. It is to be funny. It's not funny, but it's like your inside joke. But it's very sad that a person, albeit that is a big part of your life, obviously. You feel that you identify as your sexuality over you being a black man. Actually, that's not the way it's supposed to be. But hey, if you identify with your dingaling and what it does and who it does, more than just the mere fact that you were born a black man or African American man, then that I feel like that says a whole lot more about you than you really realize, because albeit sex is an important part of a lot of people's lives, sex actually is not a requirement. You know what I mean? I say this sometimes when I have discussions with people in person. I don't talk about stuff like this a lot, but that's why a lot of people feel that some people, not all, but some people feel that people in the LGBTQ community don't have any self-control, and just they're, like when they talk about pride, they feel like it's just about sex. And like when they have pride parades and all the other stuff, it's just you're just out doing whatever and whatever, and whatnot, because that's all you guys or women, all you in that community think about is getting your rocks off. And that isn't true. That's not the way it should be. Just like for someone who is heterosexual, it should not just always be about sex. If you constantly are on go when it comes to sex, whether you're heterosexual or homosexual, then you really have some issues. And you might need some therapy to get some self-control about yourself, because it should not just always be about sex. If God forbid you get sick and you're not able to perform, you can live without sex. You may not you may not want to, but I'm saying the only thing you really need in this life to live is water and food. You don't need to like there's no one that's like, if I don't have sex in the next 5 days, I'm going to drop dead. So I just had to say that, because the fact that he's saying that, I know there are a lot of people who say, "Oh, he's just so smart. He's so intelligent." That really speaks to the intelligence level. It's not really there, and I'm just being honest, but go ahead.
Okay. And I understand all of y'all don't think that way. But what you're not going to get me to believe is that all 6,124 of y'all who are on this chat right now, you're not going to gaslight me into believing that all of y'all are here for gay people and all of y'all support gay people. The overwhelming majority of y'all watch me and will still look me in my face and say things like, love the sinner, not the sin. I love the sinner, not the sin. Now, what type of backhanded shit is that?
And that's what I wanted to point out. Your friend, Dr. Elaine Heavenly Kimes, is the woman who would say backhanded shit like, love the sinner, hate the sin. That is her mentality. That is how she feels about you, friend Funky. That's how she feels about you. So the fact that you're saying that you're going to continue to be friends with someone like that, I feel like it speaks more about you than it does about her. And quite frankly, be friends with her. I don't care. I'm not here to try to coerce him or convince him to stop being friends with someone like that. But what I am saying is that I feel like it's bullshit that you're going to come out here and make this statement. It's really only to try to calm the waters and just let people know that, look, I get it. What she said was wrong, and I could say some shit too, but at the end of it all, I'm going to continue to be quote unquote friends with her because it is beneficial for me. And that's really what it's all about. I can stop it right there. If you want to watch the rest of it, you can go ahead to his channel. Like I said, it was a live stream that he did on Monday evening. I don't buy it. It's like he could have just said, look, I know y'all hoes, because he loves to call his followers hoes. I know y'all hoes want me to come out here, go in and let have and call out Dr. Heavenly, but look, bitch, that's my friend, and I'm standing by her. Next subject, please. And leave it at that. It's your right. If you want to be friends with somebody like that, continue. Most people don't care. But the apology was fake. I believe the lawsuits against her were real. And I believe that there's definitely a whole lot more that's hidden. That's why she spends so much time focusing on other people versus talking about her own issues, what's going on in her household, what's going on with her and her husband, what's going on with her and her children. At least one of them, most people believe, is in the LGBTQ community, and you're not really a fan of it. And from what I've heard, her husband's mother can't stand her. And I know that there are a lot of issues between mother-in-laws and, the wives of their sons, but I could see why that woman wouldn't like her. I just don't see what the appeal is, but a lot of people do like the mess, and there's nothing wrong with a little mess every now and then, but it's just something about the lack of professionalism. And any chick, doctor, dentist, hairdresser, I don't care, like nail tech. If you have employees and you call your employee that they're black, you tell them they're black and ugly and say that they look like a gorilla, you're as unprofessional as they come, and you don't deserve to have staff. And I could see her saying that type of stuff. And as far as Funky Dineva and the so-called friendship goes, I mean, it's beneficial for him. People like Claudia and Tasha K and Flame Monroe, he didn't have any use for them really. So it was easy to say, F them hoes. I'm done with them. But because right now, at least, this so-called friendship, it's beneficial for him, he's going to continue to stand by her, right or wrong, indifferent, because he's got a problematic mouth when it comes to a lot of things that he said and done as well. You've seen the history, you've seen stuff over the years. And so, just to name a few, Beyonce's daughter, Blue Ivy, Chloe Bailey, like just a number of different things that he said over the years, calling women fish, and just a lot of the stuff that he says. I could go down the line, but I'm not going to right now. You probably know the history. So with all of those things being said, I want to know what you guys think. So you let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for being here, liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and I'm going to say bye.